really don't think you have anything to worry about, Charlie Brown. After all, science has shown that a person's character isn't really established until he's at least 5 years old.
But I am 5. I'm more than 5.
Oh, well, that's the way it goes.
The only thing wrong with Charlie Brown is his lack of confidence. His inferiority and his lack of confidence. His clumsiness, his inferiority, and his lack of confidence. His stupidity, his clumsiness, his inferiority, and his lack of confidence.
Did you know that Charlie Brown has never pitched a winning baseball game, never been able to keep a kite in the air, never won a game of checkers, and never successfully punted a football? Sometimes I marvel at his consistency.
I think Charlie Brown has nice hands.
It is truly a dog's life. I feel so neglected. Charlie Brown never brings me coffee in the morning.
Now, Linus, I want you to take a good look at Charlie Brown's face. Well, hold still a minute, Charlie Brown. I want Linus to study your face. Now, this is what you call a failure face, Linus. Notice how it has failure written all over it? Well, study it carefully. You rarely see such a good example. Notice the deep lines, the dull, vacant look in his eyes. Yes, I would say this is one of the finest examples of a failure face you're liable to see in a long while.
You know, some mornings I wake up early just to watch the sunrise, and I see how beautiful it is, and I think how my whole life lies before me, and I get a very positive feeling about things. Well, like this morning, for instance. The sun's so bright and the sky's so clear. How can anything go wrong on a beautiful day like today?
Whoa, you're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're the kind of reminder we need. You have humility, nobility, and a sense of honor that are very rare indeed. Whoa, boom, you're a good man, Charlie Brown. And we know you will go very far. Yes, it's hard to believe, almost frightening tendency. What a good man you are kind. You are kind to all the animals and every little bird. With a heart of gold, you believe what you're told.
Every single solitary word.
You bravely face adversity. You're cheerful through the day. You're thoughtful, brave, and courteous.
And you also have some faults, but for the moment, let's just say
That you're a good man, Charlie Brown. La 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 la. Whoa, boom! You're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're a prince, and a prince could be king. With a heart such as yours, you could open any door. You could go on and do anything. You could be king, Charlie Brown. You could be king.
If only you weren't so wishy-washy.
You know, lunch times are among the worst times of day for me. Having to sit here alone and eat all by myself. Of course, nighttime isn't so good either. Lying there, awake, in bed, and thinking about all the stupid things I've done during the day. And morning. lying there in bed and wondering if anybody would miss me if I never got out of bed. And then all those hours in between when I do stupid things. Well, lunchtime is among the worst times of day for me. Might as well see what I got. Peanut butter. Psychiatrists say that people who eat peanut butter sandwiches are lonely. I think they're right. And when you're really lonely, the peanut butter sticks to the roof of your mouth. The PTA sure did a good job of painting these benches. There's that cute little red-headed girl sitting over there, eating her lunch. I wonder what she'd do if I walked over and asked her if I could sit down and have lunch with her. She'd probably laugh right in my face. It's hard on a face when it gets laughed in. But still, there's an empty place next to her right on the bench. There's no reason why I just couldn't get up, go over there, and sit right down next to her. No reason at all. All I'd have to do is stand up. I'm standing up. I'm sitting down. Oh, I'm a coward. I'm so much of a coward she wouldn't even think of looking at me. She hardly ever does look at me. In fact, I can't remember her ever looking at me. But why shouldn't she look at me? Is she so great and I'm so small that she can't spare just one little mole? Oh, she's looking at me. She's looking at me. Oh.
No, Patty, you're thinking of that other dress, the one I wore to Lucinda's party. The one I'm talking about was the very light blue and it had the sash around the waist.
I don't remember.
Patty went something like this. And it had the little skirt like this. And
Oh,
the little
yes,
sleeve.
now I remember.
Well, that was the one I was wearing when I saw Frida and she told me.
Lunchtime is among the worst times of day for me. If that cute little redhead girl is looking at me with this bag on my head, she must think I'm the biggest fool alive. But then, if she isn't looking at me, maybe I can take it off and she'd never notice. On the other hand, if I don't take it off, I'll never know if she's looking at me at night. But again, if I never take off the bag, I'll never have to know whether or not she's looking at me. But on the other hand, it's awfully hard to breathe in here. She's not looking at me. I wonder why she never looks at me. Well, lunchtime is over. Only 2,863 more to go.
Marion was right. Never tried to discuss marriage with a musician.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
You know, Linus, I think that people take the newspaper too much for granted. I just don't think that the people appreciate the miracle that is the modern daily newspaper. But still, it's hard to say just why one does like the newspaper.
Well, I like the newspaper because you don't have to dial it.
I got it!
You give me back my blanket!
No, I got it, I'm going to keep it. This is just the start you need to break you of this disgusting habit.
Apparently you haven't read the latest scientific reports. A blanket is as important to a child as a hobby is to an adult. Well, yes, many a man spends his time collecting antique automobiles, collecting old telephones, building model trains, or even studying about the Civil War. Well, this is called playing with the past.
Really?
Certainly. And this is good, for it helps these men to cope with their everyday problems. Now, I think that it's going to be absolutely necessary for me to have to get my blanket back, so I'm just going to have to give it a good yank. Oh! It's amazing what you can accomplish with some smooth talking and some fast action.
Curse of her fuzzy face.
Well, happiness is a fleeting thing, Patty, but I think that a man can come closer to it by directing the forces of his life toward a single goal that he believes in. And I also think that a man's personal search for this happiness is not a selfish thing either, because if he can accomplish finding this happiness himself, well, he can help others to find it too. Does this make sense to you?
We had spaghetti 3 times at our house this week.
You think if someday you and I got married and we were so poor that you had to sell your piano to buy me saucepans?
Saucepans?
Well, certainly. You don't expect me to set up housekeeping without a good set of saucepans, do you?
Saucepans?
Well, girls have to think about these things. Boys never have to think about things like saucepans.
I can't stand it. I just can't stand it.
Here is the fierce jungle ape, pounding his mighty chest while the other animals cower in the distance. Now he throws back his head and emits a terrifying roar.
How humiliating. Patty?
I don't know. I was jumping rope and everything was just fine. And then
All of a sudden, it all seemed so futile.
I would have made a tremendous hood ornament.
it's not fair. You promised me a birthday party and now you say I can't have one. It's not fair.
You're not using the right strategy.
What?
The more you fuss, the worse off you'll be. Why not admit it was all your own fault? Why not go up to Mom and say to her, I'm sorry, Mother dear. I admit I've been bad and you were right to cancel my party. From now on, I shall try to be good. Well, that's much better than ranting and raving. All that does is prove her point.
I'm sorry, dear Mother. I admit I've been bad and you were right to cancel my party. From now on, I shall try to be good. I'd rather die.
Beethoven loved the countryside. He quite often liked to take long strolls into the countryside. He loved the peace and quiet of the country. They were an inspiration to him.
Give me that one, you lunkhead.
Beethoven had it nice.
Hey, Snoopy, we're home from school, boy. Hi there, fella. Oh, gosh, it's good to see you.
Oh, Snoopy, you're so adorable.
Okay, Snoopy, back on your roundhouse, and I'll be out later with your supper.
I think Snoopy's such a wonderful dog.
Oh, me too. He's just about the greatest there is.
They like me, I think they're swell. Isn't it remarkable how things turn out so well? Pleasant day, pretty sky, life goes on, here I lie. Not bad at all. Cozy home, board and bed, sturdy roof beneath my head. Not bad at all. Faithful friends, always near me, bring me bones, scratch my ear. Little birds come to cheer me every day. Sitting here on my stomach with their sharp little claws, which are usually cold and occasionally painful, and sometimes there are so many that I can hardly stand it. Rats! I gotta bite someone. I know every now and then what I want to be. A fierce jungle animal crouched on the limb of a tree. I'd stay very, very still until I see a victim come. I'd wait knowing very well every second counts. And then, like the fierce jungle creature I am, I would pounce. I'd pounce. I never realized how far down to the ground it was from here. see. Where was I? Oh, that's right. The pretty sky. Not bad. Not bad at all. I wonder if it'll snow tonight. Huh.
I think I'll just go up to that cute little red-headed girl and introduce myself to her. I think I'll introduce myself to her and ask her if I can sit down next to her. I'll ask if I can sit down next to her, and then I'll tell her how much I've always admired her. I think I'll flap my arms and fly to the moon.
Yesterday I was a dog. Today I'm a dog. Tomorrow I'll probably still be a dog. There's just so little hope for advancement.
Delightful. La da 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 my blanket on me. It's a cozy sanctuary, but it's far from necessary, 'cause I'm just as self-reliant as before. As a simple demonstration of my independent station, I will go and leave my blanket on the floor. Yes, I know you won't believe it, but I'll just walk away and leave it on the floor. Don't ever let me do that again. Got you back again. My blanket and me. My blanket and me.
Okay, switch channels.
Are you kidding? What makes you think you can come right in here and take over?
See these 5 fingers? Well, individually they are nothing. But when I curl them together into one single unit, they become a fighting force terrible to behold.
What channel do you want? Why can't you guys get organized like that?
Wait I intend to be a queen. When I grow up, I'm going to be the biggest queen there ever was. And I'll live in this big palace and have lots of beautiful dresses. And when I go out in my coach, all the people will wave and I will shout at them.
Lucy, I believe queen is an inherited title. Well, yes, I'm quite sure. A person can only become a queen by being born into the royal family of the correct lineage so that she can assume the throne after the death of the reigning monarch. Well, I can't think of any possible way you could ever become a queen. Well, I'm sorry, Lucy, but it's true.
And in the summertime, I will go to my summer palace and wear my crown in swimming and everything. What do you mean I can't be queen?
Well, it's true.
Well, there must be a loophole. Well, this kind of thing always has a loophole. Nobody should be kept from being queen if she wants to be one. It's undemocratic.
Good grief.
It's probably just a matter of knowing the right people. Well, I bet a few pieces of well-placed correspondence, and I'll get to be a queen in no time.
I think I'll watch television.
Well, I know what I'll do. I'll be very rich. Yes, I'll work until I'm very rich, and then I'll buy myself a queendom. Yes, I'll buy myself a queendom, and I'll kick out the old queen and take over the whole operation myself. I will be head queen. And when I go out in my coach, all the people will wave, and I'll...
What's the matter, Lucy?
Huh?
Well, what happened to your queendom?
Oh, that. Well, I've given that up. I've decided to devote my life to cultivating my natural beauty.
Little more speed, little more rope, little more wind, little more hope. Gotta get this stupid kite to fly. Gotta make sure it doesn't snag, doesn't drop, doesn't drag. Gotta watch out for every little whoops. Little less speed, little more tact, little less rise, little more slack. Gotta keep my wits about me now. Gotta make sure it doesn't get the best of me till I get it in the air somehow. Millions of little kids do it every day. They make a kite and put it in the sky. Leave it to me to have the one fool kite who likes to see a little kid cry. Little less talk, little more skill, little less luck, little more will. Gotta face this fella eye to eye. Now I've seen you chasing moles, climbing trees, digging holes, catching your string on anything passing by. Why not? Oh, why not fly? Wait a minute. What's it doing? It isn't on the ground. It isn't in a tree. It's in the air. Look at that. It's caught the breeze now. It's past the trees now. With room to spare. Oh, what a beautiful sight. And I'm not such a clumsy guy. If I really try, I can
Last year, I sent 54 Valentines and received 62. This year, I sent 55 Valentines and received 58. Am I right in blaming this on Reaganomics?
Here, Lucy. This is for you. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, no, that's not right. Here, Lucy. This is for you. Happy Valentine's Day. Right, I can do it if I just don't get nervous. Hi, Lucy. This is for you. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, take it easy. Hi, Lucy. This is for you. Merry Christmas. Oh!
Charlie Brown.
Hi, Patty. Oh, you dropped something. What is all this?
Oh, these are Valentines for all the boys in school I like.
Oh, really? Well, we wouldn't want to lose this one, would we? The one with CB on it.
Oh, no. Craig Bowerman would be very disappointed.
Oh, I just can't stand it. Look at them over there, laughing and enjoying their Valentines. I sent a Valentine to everybody I know this year. But did I get any in return? No, not one. I didn't get one single Valentine. Oh, nobody likes me. I get about as many Valentines as a dog. My stomach hurts. Oh gosh, Lucy. Everything's going wrong. I'm so depressed I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, Charlie Brown. Well, maybe there's something I can do to help. I think what you need to do is come right out and admit everything that's wrong with you.
Oh gosh, Lucy, do you think that'll help?
Well, certainly.
All right, I'll give it a try. I'm not very handsome or clever or lucid. I've always been stupid at spelling and numbers. I've never been much playing football or baseball or stickball or checkers or marbles or ping pong. I'm usually awful at parties and dances. I stand like a stick, or I cough, or I laugh, or I don't bring a present, or I steal the ice cream, or I get so depressed that I stand and I scream. Oh, how can there possibly be one small person as thoroughly, totally, utterly blah as me?
Well, that's okay for a starter.
A starter?
Well, certainly. You don't think that mentioning these few superficial facts is going to do any good, do you? Why, Charlie Brown, you've really got to delve. You're stupid, self-centered, and moody.
I'm moody.
You're terribly dull to be with.
Yes, I am, and nobody likes me, not Frida, or Shermie, or Schroeder, or Linus.
Or Lucy.
Or Lucy.
Or Snoopy.
Or Snoop. Oh, now wait a minute. I know Snoopy likes me.
Ah, now, he only pretends to like you because you feed him. That doesn't count.
Or Snoopy. But what was I born just to be? One small person as thoroughly, totally, utterly...
Wait. You're not very much of a person.
That's certain.
And yet there is reason for hope.
There's hope?
For although you are no good at music like Schroeder, or happy like Snoopy, or lovely like me, you have the distinction to be no one else but the thoroughly, totally marvelous Charlie Brown.
I'm me.
Yes, it's amazingly true. For whatever it's worth, Charlie Brown, you're you.
Gosh, Lucy, you know something? I'm feeling better already. You're a true friend, Lucy. A true friend.
Oh, well, that'll be 5 cents, please.
Hey, Snoopy, how's the fella?
Hi, Snoopy. Cute doggy.
What do you say, Tiger?
Hi, fuzzy face.
Oh, hi, Snoopy. Nobody ever calls me Sugar Lips.
A book report on Peter Rabbit.
Report on Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit.
Peter Rabbit is a stupid book about a stupid rabbit who steals vegetables from other people's gardens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 83 to go.
The name of the book about which this book report is about is Peter Rabbit, which is about this rabbit. I found it I liked the part where it was it reminded me of Robin Hood. And the part where Little John jumped from the rock to the sheriff of Nottingham's back, and then Robin and everyone swung from the trees in a sudden surprise attack. They captured the sheriff and all of his goods, and they carried them back to their camp in the woods, and the sheriff was guest at their dinner and all, but he wriggled away and he sounded the call, and his men rushed in, and the arrows flew. Peter Rabbit did sort of that kind of thing too.
The other people's name was McGregor. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
In examining a work such as Peter Rabbit, it is important that the superficial characteristics of its deceptively simple plot should not be allowed to blind the reader to the more substantial fabric of its deeper motivations. In this report, I plan to discuss the family pressure so great as to drive an otherwise moral rabbit to perform acts of thievery which he consciously knew were against the law. I also hope to explore the personality of Mr. McGregor in his conflicting roles as farmer and humanitarian. Peter Rabbit is established from the start as a benevolent hero, and it's only but to increase his fear. If I start writing now when I'm not really ready, it could upset my thinking, which is not good at all. I'll get a fresh start tomorrow when it's not due till Wednesday, so I'll have all of Tuesday unless something should happen. Why does this always happen? I should be outside playing, getting fresh air and sunshine. I work best under pressure, and there'll be lots of pressure if I wait till tomorrow. I should start writing now, but if I start writing now when I'm not really rested, it could upset my thinking, which is not good at all.
The name of the rabbit was Peter. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Ha!
Down came a staff on his head, smash, and Robin fell like a sack full of lead, crash. The sheriff laughed and he left him for dead. But he was wrong.
35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Just then an arrow flew in, bing! It was a sign for the fight to begin, sing! And then it looked like the sheriff could win, but not for long. Away they ran. Just like rabbits who run a lot. As you can tell from the story of Peter Rabbit, this report is about.
They expect us to write a book report of anyone in just 2 days. So miserable
Not to mention the extreme pressure exerted on him by his deeply rooted rivalry with Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail.
The very, very, very end.
Amen.
A book report on Peter Rabbit.
You know, I don't know if you'll understand this or not, but sometimes when I'm feeling very low, I'll see just some little thing that will restore my faith. Well, like that leaf, for instance, clinging to its tree in spite of wind and storm. And then I realize that courage and tenacity are the greatest values a man can have. And I go forth with renewed confidence in my fellow man. And I know that things aren't half as bad as I make them out to be, and that with the strength of his conviction, a man can go forth and move mountains. I know that now. I know it.
Up with Camel, searching for the infamous Red Baron. I must bring him down. Suddenly, anti-aircraft fire, Archie we call it, begins to burst beneath my plane. Yeah, you can't hit me. Actually, tough flying aces never say yeah. I just, drat this fog. It's bad enough to have to fight the Red Baron without having to fly in weather like this. All right, Red Baron, come on out. You can't hide forever. Ah, the sun is broken through. I can see the woods of Motsec below. And what's this? It's a Falker triplane. Ha! I've got you this time, Red Baron. Ah! He's diving down out of the sun. He's tricked me again. I've got to run. Come on, Sopwith, Camel, go! Go, Camel, go! Riddling my plane with bullets. I can't shake him. Curse you, Red Baron. Curse you and your kind. Curse the evil that causes this unhappiness. Here's the World War I flying ace back at the aerodrome in France. He is exhausted, but he does not sleep. For one thought continues to burn in his mind. Someday I'll get you, Red Baron.
Oh, come on, Snoopy. It's a magnificent day for chasing rabbits. The air is clear, the sun is shining. The fields and woodlands lay open and inviting.
If it's such a magnificent day, why spoil it for the rabbits?
Oh, come on, Snoopy. What kind of dog are you anyway?
I'm a sleeping dog. You take it from there.
You should be ashamed of yourself, wasting a beautiful day like today. The trail is clear. The scent is fresh. Let's get out there and track us down a big old rabbit.
Well, I get the feeling she's determined. Okay, if that's what she wants, she might as well get her money's worth.
Attaboy, Snoopy! Boy, we ought to see lots of game today. Going to see any game today, but at least you tried, even though you failed. It's always good to know you've done your best.
I'd hate to disillusion her, but I don't even know what a rabbit smells like.
All right, team, I want this to be the best game of the season. I want everyone out there playing with everything that he's got.
Charlie Brown, I thought up some new strategy for you. Why don't you tell the other team that we're going to play them at a certain place, only it isn't the real place, and then when they don't show up, we'll win by forfeit. Isn't that good strategy? I just don't understand these managers who don't appreciate good strategy.
Now then, as I was saying, what I'm expecting is teamwork and spirit. If we just grit our teeth and bear down...
Charlie Brown. Is Lucy going to pitch again? Because if she is, I quit. Do you know what she does, Charlie Brown? She's always calling me out onto the mound for conferences. You see, I go out there for these secret conferences on the mound, and do you know what she does? She kisses me on the nose.
Now then, as I was saying, if we just grit our teeth and bear down and...
Perhaps you shouldn't be a playing manager, Charlie Brown. Perhaps you should be a bench manager.
That's a great idea, Charlie Brown. Why, you'd be a great bench manager. You could say, bench, do this, or bench, do that. Why, you could even tell us where we should put the bench when we get to the playing field. You could say, let's put the bench over here, or let's put the bench over there.
Oh, I can't stand it.
What's the sense in our playing when we know we're going to lose? If there was even 1,000,000 to 1 chance we might win, it would make some sense.
Well, there may not be 1,000,000 to 1 chance, but I'm sure there's 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance. Come on, give me a T.
T.
Give me an E.
E.
Give me an A.
A.
Give me an M.
M.
What do you got?
Team. There is no team like the best team, which is our team right here. We will show you we're the best team in the very little league this year. And in no time, we'll be big time with the big league baseball stars. For all we have have to do is win just one more game, and the championship is ours.
Dear pen pal, you'll never guess what happened today at the baseball game. It's hard to believe what happened today at the baseball game. I was the manager, Schroeder was catcher, and all of the team was the same as always, but somehow or other disaster struck at the baseball game. Balls, 2 strikes, the bases were loaded with 2 men out. So I pitched my curve, but somehow he hit it a good, strong out. Lucy, I hollered, it's coming right to ya. She caught it as easy as pie, then dropped it. I don't think it's good for a team's morale to see their manager cry. Silky helped out by biting a runner and catching his ball in his teeth. And Linus caught flies from a 3rd-story window by holding his blanket beneath. Yes, we had fortitude, no one could argue with that. And 1 run would win us the game as I came up to bat.
Okay, Charlie Brown, we're all behind you here. Our lives depend on you, Charlie Brown. Please don't mess up like you always do. For once, try and hit the ball, Charlie Brown.
In a very little
Charlie Brown, please, come on. This guy can't pitch. He's just like your grandmother, and we all know heredity and all that stuff is going to be really bad. Come on, Charlie Brown, and the championship is ours!
2 men were on the 2 strike, which was me with 2 strikes to go. Then I saw her, this cute little red-headed girl I know. Firmly I thought I would win it for her, and so I shouldered my bat and I swung. Oh. Dear pen pal, I'm told where you live is really quite far. Could you please send directions on how I can get where you are? Your friend, Charlie Brown.
Lucy, I'm sorry to have said right to your face, but it's true. You're a very crabby person. Now, I know your crabbiness has probably become so natural to you by now that you're not even aware when you're being crabby. But it's true just the same. You're a very crabby person, and you're crabby to just about everyone you meet. Now, I hope you don't mind me saying this, and I hope you'll take it in the spirit that it's meant. I think we should all be open to any opportunity to learn more about ourselves. Socrates was right when he said one of the first rules in life is to know thyself. Well, I guess I've said about enough now. I hope I haven't offended you or anything.
Well, what's Socrates got to do with it anyway? Who was he anyway? Did he ever get to be king? Tell me that. Did he ever get to be king? Did he ever get to be king? Well, who was Socrates anyway? Know thyself.
Hey, Snoopy, want to come out and help me get my arm back in shape? All right, boy. Now watch out for this one. This is my new fastball.
Excuse me a moment, Charlie Brown, but I was wondering if you'd mind answering a few questions.
Well, certainly, Lucy.
Well, I'm conducting a survey to enable me to know myself better. And the first question I would like to ask is on a scale of 0 to 100, using a standard of 50 as average, 75 as above average, and 90 as exceptional, where would you rate me with regards to crabbiness? Well, your ballots need not be signed, and all answers will be held in strictest confidence.
Well, still, Lucy, that's a very difficult question
Well,
to
you
answer.
can have a minute to think it over if you want, or we can come back to that question later.
Yes, I think I'd like to come back to it later. If you don't mind, we'll come back to it later.
Okay. The next question deals with certain character traits you might have observed. Regarding personality, would you say that mine was A, forceful, B, pleasing, or C, objectionable? A, B, or C. I don't have today, Charlie Brown.
Forceful?
Forceful, I see. Forceful. Well, we'll just put a check mark at the letter A then. Would you say that my ability to get along with other people was poor, fair, good, or excellent?
Well, that all depends on what you mean by ability to get along with other people.
Well, make friends, sparkle in the crowd, that sort of thing.
Is there room for an abstention?
Certainly. We'll just check none of the above. Now, dealing with physical appearance, in referring to my beauty, would you say that I was stunning, mysterious, or intoxicating?
Gosh, Lucy, I don't know. You look just fine to me.
Stunning, yes. Now, I think we should get back to that first question. On a scale of 0 to 100, using a standard of 50 as average, 75 as above average, and...
I remember the question, Lucy.
Well?
$51?
51. Okay, well, I guess that about does it. Thank you very much, Charlie Brown. Your cooperation has been greatly appreciated.
Well, anytime, Lucy. It's been a pleasure. Come on, Snoopy, let's get out of here.
Oh, wait a minute. One more question. Would you answer yes or no to the question, is Lucy Van Pelt the sort of person you'd like as president of your club or civic organization?
Certainly, by all means.
Well, that about does it. Thanks. Now, well, who asked you? 51, none of the above. Schroeder was right. I can already feel myself being filled with the glow of self-awareness. Oh, Patty, I'm conducting a survey, and I'm 110.
C, no, there, none of the above. And what are you gonna do about the dent you put in my bicycle?
Well, it's amazing how fast word of these surveys gets around. Well, oh, Linus, I'm glad you're here. I'm conducting a survey, and there are a few questions I'd like to ask you.
Well, sure, go ahead.
Okay, the first one is on a scale of 0 to 100, using a standard of 50 as average, 75 as above average, and 90 as exceptional. Where would you rate me with regards to crabbiness?
You're my big sister.
That's not the question.
No, but that's the answer.
Come on, Linus, answer the question.
Look, Lucy, I know darn well that if I give you any sort of an honest answer to that question, you're gonna slug me.
Linus, a survey that is not based on honest answers is like a house that's built on a foundation of sand. Now, would I be conducting this survey if I didn't expect complete candor in all the responses? I promise not to slug you. Now, what would your crabbiness rating be for me?
95.
No decent person could be expected to keep her word with a rating over 90. Now, I add these two columns, and that'll give me my answer. It's true. I'm a crabby person. Well, I'm a very crabby person, and everyone knows it. I've been spreading crabbiness everywhere I go. I'm a super crab. It's a wonder I have any friends or even associates. It's a wonder anyone will still talk to me. I've been making life miserable for everyone. How could I be so selfish? Where did I go wrong?
What's the matter, Lucy?
Oh, don't talk to me, Linus. I don't deserve to be spoken to. I don't deserve to breathe the air I breathe.
Well, that's not true.
Oh, yes, it is. There's no good reason at all why I should go on living on the face of this earth.
Well, yes, there is.
Name one. Give me one good reason why I should still deserve to breathe the air I breathe.
Well, for one thing, you have a little brother who loves you. Every now and then I say the right thing.
Of course it's surprising, but I'm sure Lucy knows now she can't be crabby anymore. Where is everyone? I told them to be here. If we don't rehearse, we can't sing at the assembly tomorrow. Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy.
No, not till you give me back my crayon.
That's my best pencil, you blockhead. If you don't give me that pencil, I'll tell my friend Patty here what you said about her.
Stop that. We've got to rehearse and you're late.
What did you say about me, Linus? He said...
Stop that.
I'm sorry I'm late. I'm late.
There's no time to be sorry.
What did you say about me, Linus?
Quiet! Now remember, this is a mood piece. We must paint a picture with words and music. And concentrate. Adagio con brio. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play.
Give me my pencil.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word.
Not in your life.
And the skies are not cloudy all day.
Tell me what you told
Give me that pencil, you blockhead.
Home on the range.
Give me my pencil.
No, not until you promise not to tell her.
What are you trying to do? Stifle my freedom of speech? Give me my pencil.
No promise, no
And the
pencil.
skies are not cloudy all day.
My pencil.
No.
Oh, give me a land.
Give me that pencil.
Rise and sing. Lovely to lay down the spring.
Why did you take Patty's pencil?
No! Graceful white swan goes gliding along.
What did he call
I
me?
live in a heavenly dream.
An enigma. An enigma.
Home, home on the range.
What's an enigma?
Where the deer and the antelope play.
Hey, still got my pencil.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy.
Why is it I always have my supper in the red dish and my drinking water in the yellow dish? One of these days I'm going to have my supper in the yellow dish and my drinking water in the red dish. Life's just too short not to live it up a little.
Hey Linus, did you fill out all those forms Miss Othmar gave us in school today?
Uh-huh. I put down my name, my address, and my postal zone.
Well, what did you put where it said family doctor?
Well, I wasn't too sure. So I put down Dr. Seuss.
My teeth are tingling again. I feel like I've just got to bite someone before sundown or I'll go stark raving mad. Yet, I know society frowns on such actions. So what happens? I'm stuck with tingly teeth. cats are the crabgrass in the lawn of life. I'm a cat hater, a cat despiser, and a cat folder. I'm also scared to death of them.
No, did she get the papers fast? Oh, you're awesome. Oh, here comes my little baby brother with his little blanket.
There's your little brother with his silly blanket.
Well, you know how babies are about their blankets.
Aha! I'm the Count Dracula from Transylvania.
Sometimes I think I'll just pull up stakes and move out of here, broaden my horizons and meet new people. And yet, something binds me to this spot. That old supper dish.
Lucy's teaching me, Charlie Brown. She says it's a sister's responsibility to see to the education of her little brother. So she's teaching me. Boy, is she intelligent.
Come along, Linus. Do you see this tree? It is a fir tree. It's called a fir tree because it gives us fur for coats. It also gives us wool in the wintertime.
Gosh, Lucy, that's amazing. I never knew that before.
This is an elm tree. It's very little, but it will grow up into a giant tree. An oak. You can tell how old it is by counting its leaves.
Gosh, that's very interesting.
Lucy, I really don't mean to interfere, but I don't think...
And way up there, those fluffy little white things, those are clouds. They make the wind blow. And way down there, those tiny little black things, those are buds. They make the grass grow.
Is that so?
Huh? They run around all day long, tugging and tugging at each tiny little seedling until it grows up into a big, tall blade of grass.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Oh, good grief.
And this thing here, it's called a hydrant. They grow all over, and no one seems to know just how a little thing like that gives so much water. Do you see that bird? It's called an eagle, but since it's little, it has another name, a sparrow. And on Christmas and Thanksgiving, we eat them.
Lucy, how can you say such things? I'm sorry, but I can't stand idly by and listen to
And
you.
way up there, the little stars and planets make the rain that falls in showers. And when it's cold and winter is upon us, the snow comes up just like the flowers.
Now, wait a minute, Lucy. I know that's not right. Snow does not come up. Snow comes down.
The wind blows it around so it looks like it's coming down, but actually it comes up from the ground, Charlie Brown. The snow comes up.
Oh, good grief.
Lucy, why is Charlie Brown banging his head against that tree?
Well, to loosen the bark to make the tree grow faster. Come along, Linus.
My stomach clock just went off. It's supper time and Charlie Brown has forgotten to feed me. Here I lie, the withering hollow shell of a dog, and there sits my supper dish empty. But that's all right. He'll remember when no furry little friend comes out to greet him after school. Then he'll remember, and he'll run out here to the doghouse, but it'll be too late. There'll be nothing left but the dried carcass of his former friend who used to run and play so happily with him. Nothing left but the bleached bones of...
Hey, Snoopy. What's the matter, boy? Are you asleep or something? I've been standing here a whole minute with your supper dish. Come on, boy. It's supper time.
Supper time? Supper time! Behold the brimming bowl of meat and meal, which is brought forth to ease our hunger. Behold the flowing flagon, moist and sweet, which has been sent to slake our thirst.
Okay, cut the big production, get off your doghouse and eat.
Oh, it's supper time. Yeah, it's supper time. Oh, it's supper time, very best time of day. It's supper time. Yeah, it's supper time. And when supper time comes, can supper be far away? Oh, bring on the soup dish, bring on the cup, bring on the bacon and fill me up, 'cause it's supper time. Bring on the bone, bring on the bell, and roll me home, 'cause it's supper, super duper dupper time. Wintertime's nice with the ice and snow. Summertime's nice with a place to go. Bedtime, overtime, halftime too, but they just can't hold a candle to my supper time. Oh yeah! Ring on the hamburger, ring on the bun. Pappy's little puppy loves everyone. Cause it's supper, supper, super pepper upper, supper, super duper dupper, duper duper dupper. Woo! Oh, laughter and joy. Woo! Woo! What's going on here? Snoopy, you're spelling it all over. Doggy on me! Cut that out!
Why can't you eat your supper calmly and quietly like any other normal dog? Where'd he get this thing?
So what's wrong with making mealtimes joyous occasions?
To me, the way the lights are blinking off and on. Schroeder, is that an airplane or star?
Well, I don't know. It could be a star or planet or maybe even a satellite.
It could be a satellite. I wonder.
Well, we'll never find out by just standing here.
Where are you going?
Over here to get a better look.
Sometimes I like to sit up here after supper time and listen to the sounds of the evening. But somehow something's missing. Oh! In my opinion, that's exactly what was needed.
I'm so happy. That cute little red-headed girl dropped her pencil. There's teeth marks on it. She nibbles her pencil. She's human. Gosh, it hasn't been such a bad day after all. Happiness is finding a pencil,
Pizza with sausage,
Telling the time. Happiness is learning to whistle, tying your shoe for the very first time.
Happiness is playing the drum in your own school band.
And happiness is walking hand in hand. Happiness is 2 kinds of ice cream.
Knowing a secret
climbing a tree.
Happiness is 5 different crayons,
Catching a firefly, setting it free.
happiness is being alone every now and then, and happiness is coming home again. Happiness is morning and evening, daytime and nighttime too. For happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you. Happiness is having a sister,
Sharing a sandwich.
getting along. Happiness is singing together with happiness is morning and evening, daytime and nighttime too. Happiness is anyone and anything at all that's loved by you.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.